YouTube. On YouTube. I don't know if I can do that. I'll just go over to my computer.
All right, so thank you all for coming. Oh, Rinsler, are you coming? Yes, we're at D-Man Caramel's camp. Then go to the second floor and look for the studio with a C above it. It is a shelter. All right, and then when you get here, you're gonna sit in one of these school chairs, and then go to the party chat and look at my share screen. Sound good? Okay, awesome. Thank everyone for coming today. This is Film School Basic 101. I'd like to give a big shout out to Green Jake for being our subject for today. Green Jake is right here in front of us in this chair. How's it going, Green Jake?
Yo, 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 we cooking, let's cook.
So we're going to be going over just like very, very simplistic basics of what it takes to make a film within Fallout 76. We're going to be going over camera control, field of view, depth of field, shot sizes, camera movements, and how to record. Then I'm going to give everyone a basic assignment to go practice out a shot. All right. So here we go, guys. First, let's start with camera control. So how you get into photo mode within Fallout 76 is you're going to touch your touchpad, which will bring up your map. Then you're going to press triangle, which takes you directly into photo mode. Now, typically what I do when I'm in photo mode, the first thing that I do is I immediately go to camera speed and set that to 0, just so I can get a little bit more smoother movements from there on. Beautiful. All right, so we all know how to get over to camera mode now. Once again, that is the basic thing.
All right, are you looking at the back of his head and he's standing up now?
Sorry?
Are you looking at the back of his head and he's just stood up? Or now we went to first person view. We're in Green Jake's camera, I think.
Oh, you're a couple of seconds behind.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I can see it. Something's happening here. I see motion, so we're good. All right, exactly. That's fine.
All right, continuing on. So I'll go over these basic menus here just so everyone understands how they can be controlled. But so first thing that we have here is our field of view. Can I have you go ahead and mute your mic, Pickle?
Okay.
There we go. All right, so first here we have field of view, and basically that is the focal length size of the camera. And so if you wanted something called a long lens, that is pushed in all the way here. And if you wanted something called a wide lens, that is pushed all the way over here. And so everything else is just kind of in between that. And so to describe what this is basically is the job of a long lens, which is pushed all the way up here. It compacts the image, making things in frame look closer than they actually are. And so if you press triangle, I'll kind of go to the default field of view right there. But as you can see right now, these are the distances of everything within the frame. It looks like Green Jake actually has, what is that, like 10 feet behind him, 6 feet behind him, until you get to the objects behind him. But on a long lens, it looks like those things are immediately right behind him, as if they're like 2 feet behind him, right? And so, once again, the purpose of a longer lens, it compacts the image to make things, even from a far distance, look like it's close up to you. All right, now in reverse, on the other end of the spectrum, wide angle lens, right? It looks like everything is absolutely far away. We get almost like an entire view of the entire room from here because we're on a wider angle lens. It looks like everything is ridiculously far away from Green Jake. So if you ever want to return back to the normal view, you just press triangle and it resets to the normal distance of the camera. And then from there, you can set the camera accordingly. Awesome. Cool. Let's go ahead and move on to roll. Roll is just rolls your camera. Typically, I don't use this very often. It's used a lot in classic Hollywood whenever you're trying to make things seem distorted, or in like horror films, whenever you're trying to make the audience feel a little bit off kilter, you would roll your camera a little bit and it feels like something in the room is kind of off. But usually I don't touch that very much. Next, we have camera speed. Camera speed is pretty much self-explanatory. For the most part, I set it down to 0 because it's less jittery and it's more smooth. But you can adjust it to where you want, just to kind of, oh geez, I almost made myself sick there. You can adjust it to how you want, and that'll show how fast your camera would move. Typically, like I said, I usually keep this around 0 or move it up rarely, but you usually don't need to touch that unless like you're trying to travel next to something that's fast. All right. Now, next we have probably something that's the most important when it comes to, oh, someone launched a nuke. Here we go. All right. So when it comes, oh, okay. All right, there we go. All right, so when it comes to depth of field, this is the thing that's going to affect you the most when it comes to trying to make your image look artistic. Simply because what depth of field is the focus range of the camera. So things that are outside the focus range of the camera are called out of focus, while everything that's within the focus range is called in focus. So typically, if you wanted to control this, you have this setting set as on, which we do, depth of field. Now, this setting enables the next 3 settings, which is toggling everything you need for your depth of field. And I'll go over all of them. So first, I'm going to go over distance. Are you looking at the YouTube or the share screen? Okay, no worries. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so going back to this. So once again, depth of field has the control here. This is going to be how you ultimately have the prettiest images. So this part is important. So these 3 toggles all do different jobs. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to go over all of them so you can kind of see. But first, I'm going to start off by setting strength up a little bit higher so you can physically see what it does. And we're going to talk about distance. And so what distance is the distance of the focus of your camera, right? So let's move the camera up a little bit closer to Green Jake so you can kind of see the differences. But the lower to the left, okay, you got to be able to do this so you can actually see it. Okay, there we go. Just so you can see a little bit better. All right, so distance is how far your camera can focus and what exactly your camera is focusing on. So if I want it to be the distance to be closer to me of what the camera is focusing on, I'm gonna move it down to the left. If I want it to be further back, meaning like say if I want it to be focusing on Green Jake here, right? I'm gonna move this toggled all the way to the left, right? Now if I want the focus to be on the trees behind Green Jake, I'm going to push these back further. Do you see that? So left, the focus is Green Jake, and things behind Green Jake are out of focus. If I go to the right, it's focused on the things further behind Green Jake. Do you see that? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Pickle was a little bit upset. He said that I should have made this PS5 only. My bad, Pickle. I had no idea that only PS5 could do it. Anyway, so this controls what you're focusing on. The further you move it to the left, the closer the focus is towards you or towards the camera. The further you move it to the right, the further it is from the camera. And so that's what you need to know about that, right? Strength. Strength controls how strong the out of focus is. So if we put it all the way to the left, right, the out of focus isn't really that strong, right? Like you could still see things out of focus in the background that are supposed to be out of focus in the background. If you move it all the way to the right, then it's ups the out of focus areas behind Green Jake. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Can someone add? Actually, let me add Abanamnam. Just sounds like she just came in real quick. B. Am I spelling Abanamnam's name right? How do you spell Abanamnam?
It's A-B-O.
Wait, it's ABO? Wait, so how do you spell that? Oh, I see it. I see it. Never mind. Yeah, I got it. I'm going to stop the live stream because I don't think anyone's watching now. There we go. Yeah,
What's up?
no one's watching the live stream.